They say dogs are man's best friend, but what happens when that simple, warm-hearted friendship suddenly turns into fierce, life-saving protection? Loyal, fearless, and always keeping watch, dogs have an incredibly deep, natural instinct to protect the people they love most. In this video, we're exploring amazing real-life moments where ordinary dogs became absolute heroes in the face of sudden danger. Take this first burglar, for instance, who thought he had found an easy target. Under the cover of darkness, he quietly approached the property and attempted to vandalize the electric gate, hoping to disable the security system and slowly make his way into the house where the family was sleeping. But he had an immediate change of plans the very second the home's loyal, four-legged gatekeeper suddenly appeared from the shadows. Charging forward with fierce determination, the dog made it crystal clear that this property was heavily guarded, forcing the terrified intruder to turn around and sprint back into the night. Then we have these street thugs who always walk around the neighborhood thinking they are incredibly tough just because they are carrying weapons and trying to intimidate innocent people. The moment the thugs tried to corner and threaten its owner, the dog stepped directly into the line of fire, barking relentlessly and snapping at the aggressors without a single shred of fear. In this next heart-stopping clip, a young girl woke up in the middle of the night, feeling disoriented and completely lost her balance as she stepped out of bed. She began to fall backward toward the hard, unforgiving floor, unable to save herself. But at the most critical second, the family dog reacted with lightning-fast animal instincts. Moving like a shadow, the dog lunged forward and caught her just in time. This next dog left local passersby completely puzzled, wondering why on earth it sat by a cold concrete street drain for so many hours, with a pleading, begging look on its face. The dog refused to move, constantly looking down into the darkness and then back up at the humans walking past. Finally, someone decided to kneel down and investigate. It turned out there was a helpless, tiny kitten trapped deep under the drain, completely unable to climb out. The dog had heard its silent cries for help and refused to abandon the spot until it successfully caught the attention of a human who could pull the kitten to safety. Here, a dog's incredibly kind and gentle instincts told him to assist a blind man who was struggling to navigate a busy, chaotic street sidewalk filled with obstacles. The dog gently nudged and guided its own owner toward the man, refusing to walk past until they helped. Witnessing that pure, natural act of kindness from their pet ended up changing the owner's entire perspective. Despite the loud, aggressive barking echoing through the house, this next reckless thief still dared to take action, breaking through a window and attempting to ransack the home anyway. He mistakenly assumed the dog was all bark and no bite, or that the owner wouldn't hear the commotion. But the dog's relentless, non-stop efforts to protect its home eventually paid off. It refused to back down, escalating its frantic alarms until it successfully alerted and woke its owner, who was able to confront the intruder and drive him away before anything could be stolen. This next thief is about to realize very quickly and very painfully that he picked the absolute wrong house to mess with. He quietly slipped through the back door, expecting a quick and easy burglary in an empty home. Instead, he was met by a massive, highly protective family dog that emerged from the shadows of the hallway. Before the criminal could even process what was happening, the dog charged with a thunderous growl, sending the terrified intruder scrambling backward, throwing himself back out the door in a desperate rush to escape. A man was out in his backyard enjoying a beautiful day, slowly falling to the ground as if playing a game with his pet dogs. But this time, it wasn't a game, and he didn't get back up. He had suffered a sudden, serious medical emergency. Sensing that something was terribly wrong, the dogs nudged him gently at first. But when he remained completely motionless, they immediately found another way to help. One dog stayed close to comfort him, while the other ran to the edge of the property, barking frantically to catch the attention. This compassionate dog couldn't bear to watch these poor stranded fish having to leave their family as they lay gasping for air on the dry, hot riverbank. Driven by a remarkably gentle instinct, the dog decided to personally help the fish get back to their home. One by one, it carefully picked up the slippery fish in its mouth, making sure not to bite down too hard, and gently carried them back to the water's edge, releasing them safely back into the flowing river. Taking advantage of an elderly man's slow movement and vulnerability, a ruthless robber snatches his backpack right off his shoulders, thinking he has made a clean, easy getaway. But what the thief didn't realize was that there was always a loyal personal bodyguard walking quietly by the old man's side. The second the robber grabbed the bag, the dog launched itself forward, biting at the thief's legs and forcing him to drop the stolen backpack and run for his life. Seeing a curious toddler intending to get outside the house all alone through an open door, this incredibly smart dog immediately recognized the danger of the situation. Instead of just following the child outside, the dog immediately ran back into the house, barking frantically to inform the mom in the kitchen, leading her straight to the door so she could safely retrieve her wandering child. This family returned home after a long day out, completely unaware that a deadly danger was lurking right on their front porch. As they walked up the steps, they didn't see the venomous snake coiled near the door. It wasn't until their golden guardian discovered the threat, placing itself directly between the family and the serpent, and aggressively chased away the unlucky snake, that they realized just how close they had come to a highly dangerous bite. A dog's constant vigilance is never in vain, especially in high-stakes emergency situations where human life is on the line. When a group of hostile street robbers targeted a lone man as their next victim, closing in on him in a dark alleyway, they thought they had the upper hand. But the powerful, protective bodyguard standing right beside him made them instantly reconsider, forcing the attackers to surrender their plans and back away into the shadows. This incredibly loyal dog never leaves its owner's side under any circumstances, showing the true meaning of devotion even when the man is completely passed out, drunk on the cold city pavement. While passers-by walked past, the dog stayed perched directly on the man's chest, keeping him warm and acting as an active shield to protect him from potential thieves or any other dangers until he finally woke up. This protective dog shows exactly what it will do the very second someone decides to aggressively confront and threaten its owner. During a heated argument on the street, an angry individual stepped too close and raised his hand in a threatening gesture. Instantly, the dog went into guard mode, leaping between them with a warning bark that made the aggressor take a quick step back, realizing that any further hostility would have serious consequences. This highly intelligent dog loves to help his human move heavy tires around the garage, but it didn't just carry them one by one. It actually used its problem-solving skills to figure out a clever way to carry 4 tires at the exact same time in just one single massive bite, balancing them perfectly and saving its owner a massive amount of hard physical labor. A large wild lizard breaks into the house through an open patio door and immediately regrets its life choices. The home's resident dog wasted no time confronting the unusual intruder, barking fiercely and maneuvering around it safely. The dog refused to stop or back down until it successfully expelled the scaly intruder completely from its territory and escorted it back outside. Pure, unbreakable loyalty was the only thing that drove this dog to jump into a fast-flowing, deep river to save its struggling owner. The amazing part is that this dog was actually extremely afraid of the water and usually refused to go near it, but seeing its human in desperate trouble, its love and protective instincts completely overrode its lifelong phobia. A wild bear broke into a residential garden, knocking down fences to find food and rummage through the trash. However, the family's brave pet dogs quickly made the massive predator have an immediate change of plans. Working together as a coordinated team, they surrounded the bear, barking fiercely and nipping at its heels until the giant animal decided the easy meal wasn't worth the fight and retreated back into the woods. This sneaky wild fox was trying to find an easy, quiet meal inside the chicken coop, hoping to slip away unnoticed with a chicken. But the strict, unyielding protection of the family's German shepherds will make the fox realize this farm is heavily guarded, ensuring the predator never dares to return to this property again. These dedicated livestock bodyguards take their job incredibly seriously, standing their ground on a snowy field to ensure a pack of wild wolves cannot get close to their owner. Even when outnumbered, the dogs bared their teeth and formed an impenetrable defensive line, successfully keeping the apex predators at bay and protecting both the flock and their human. This fiercely loyal dog simply wouldn't let anyone show disrespect or physical aggression toward its beloved human. When a friend tried to playfully shove the owner during a game, the dog immediately stepped in, letting out a sharp, authoritative bark to establish a boundary, proving that it is always keeping a very close watch on its human safety. An animal's natural intuition when it comes to predicting natural disasters is incredibly spot on. Just seconds after this dog's sudden frantic panic and fearful barking sparked confusion, a violent disaster struck. Fortunately, the dog's early warning gave the woman just enough time to react and make it safely inside her home before the shaking began, saving her from falling debris outside. When this poor, clumsy puppy accidentally fell into the deep end of the family swimming pool and struggled to stay afloat, it was incredibly fortunate for him to have such a great friend nearby. The older dog immediately ran to the edge of the pool, leaned down carefully, and grabbed the puppy by the scruff of its neck, pulling him safely out of the water. This highly disciplined dog was trained from a very young age to perform the noble, life-saving mission of finding and saving people in extreme emergency situations, demonstrating how a dog's intelligence can be shaped into a vital tool for search and rescue operations worldwide. Every bit of hard, exhausting daily work on the farm becomes infinitely easier and much more enjoyable when you have such a reliable, hard-working assistant helping you with the chores, carrying tools, and keeping you company throughout the long day. A pan on the kitchen stove suddenly caught fire while the homeowner was distracted in another room. This alert dog immediately knew that something was terribly wrong, smelling the smoke and sensing the danger. It ran straight to the owner, barking frantically until they followed him into the kitchen to extinguish the flames before they could spread to the rest of the house. A long, tiring day at work becomes instantly easier and far less stressful with the help of a tiny, adorable colleague by your side, offering a comforting paw and a wagging tail just when you need a mental break. Being an incredible, life-changing dog doesn't always require grand, dramatic gestures like fighting off wild animals. Sometimes, it's just about offering a steady, quiet, and loving presence, sitting by your side during a difficult moment to show you that you are never truly alone. It is incredibly clear from this hilarious clip that these dogs have a very strong, undeniable preference when choosing their absolute favorite human in the family, completely ignoring one person's calls while sprinting joyfully into the arms of another. Dogs can switch from gentle, cuddly family pets into full active protection mode instantaneously the very millisecond they sense their owners are facing any kind of physical trouble or threat. This extraordinary dog does an absolutely incredible job as a caretaker, dedicating its entire life to helping its paralyzed owner with absolutely everything, from retrieving dropped items to assisting him gently during his meals. There is truly no feeling in the world quite like knowing there is always someone waiting for you to come home from a long, exhausting day. As a daily habit, this devoted dog opens the front door all by itself and sits on the porch, waiting patiently for its owner's car to pull up. If you enjoyed these amazing real-life moments of canine loyalty and bravery, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with a fellow dog lover. See you in the next one.